Okay, we are on. Welcome back. We are in the kitchen.
Again, we are in the kitchen
with
again.
Cristina.
That's where I live.
That's right. She lives there, and she is here once again to talk about her upcoming book, our upcoming book, Food for Thought. You can pre-order it on Amazon. We share a recipe from this incredible book almost every weekend now in the Sunday paper, and they're very popular because they're all good for you and good for your brain. And I just want to, before we get to these brownies, which are so good, she did all this. I have nothing to do with it as usual, but she carved the pumpkins out and she put flowers in. I mean, like, who does that?
Well,
she does
I love doing it because, first of all, it will last forever.
Really?
If you use succulents, and I use some herbs too, because when I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner, I always use a lot of fresh herbs so I can just go right for it. It looks very festive. It has edible flowers, so you can put this on the food.
Took the inside of that out and then put the flowers in?
Yeah, I took the inside, I carved it out. I saved the seeds because they're very good for you.
She put a vase in there.
I put a vase in there because if you put the water in there, it'll get moldy and it'll disintegrate really fast. So I put a vase in there, and in here I put a plastic bag to keep it, and the dirt. To keep the moisture from getting in. But this is very convenient for when you're cooking. This makes a wonderful, if you're having a buffet table or in the middle of your table, and they're inexpensive. You know, sunflower seeds, these I've had around, this I got in my backyard. You know, and I just love filling up the house full of color and life and flowers.
You match the pumpkins.
Yes, I match the pumpkins. I said, look, this jacket, I think I'll wear it because I'll look like a pumpkin.
Anyway, she is really a master of design. And then now that brings us to the way she presents the food. I mean, once again, look, I didn't do anything, but I will eat it. But she's, and I said to her when I walked in, how could this possibly be good for us?
Okay, well, you asked me how could brownies possibly
be good for us? Yes.
So my mission this month is to give you recipes that you can eat and enjoy over the Thanksgiving holiday that's not going to wreak havoc on your gut and on your brain health and all that. Because sugar, as you know, is the worst thing ever. And the first thing out of Maria's mouth when she walked in this morning, she said, how could these possibly be good for you? They're brownies. And she said, well, what did you make them with? I said, there's garbanzo bean flour. It's gluten free. It's vegan, and I sweetened it with some maple syrup,
and some monk fruit.
And monk fruit. Monk fruit.
Yeah, monk fruit is like really hip.
It's the new black.
It's the new black. Okay. Monk fruit is the new black.
Yeah.
Okay. So why? This is like everybody loves brownies.
Everybody loves brownies, but a word of caution now, because this does not have butter. It does not have eggs in it and sugar, and when you
probably tastes gross, right? Is that the
no?
word of caution?
It does not. No, that is not a word of caution. Word of caution. It's not your normal brownie when you eat it, and there's a lot of sweet and there's a lot of sugar, a lot of chocolate, and you get a headache immediately. These are actually ingredients that are good for you. Now, because there's nothing to bind them, when you bake them, it's normally when you put them on the baking sheet.
Yeah.
They'll hold together. These will not, because they're hot, and you have to let them cool completely to room temperature, because otherwise they will fall apart. You want to eat, I'm just giving you a word of warning.
Kind of like me. After you brought to room temperature, I'll fall apart.
Well, as they say, anger is better served up cold, right?
I was angry.
No, I know you're not angry. I know. I knew you were going to say that. I'm not accusing you of being angry. I just thought it was funny.
OMG. Well, tell her, how do you make the thing, the brownies?
Well, you can. I included it in a recipe for the Sunday's paper.
You can find out. You're not going to find out today how to make the brownies. You're just going to look at them, and then you're going to find out about them on the Sunday paper. And if you don't subscribe to the Sunday paper, naughty.
Right. You should. They're also very good.
We'd like to invite you.
You should. Besides the point that her Sunday paper is magnificent. It's something Tony. Hi, honey. Tony and I always look forward to, and I love your prayers that you include.
Christina's my extraordinary husband.
Yes. 35 years.
35 years.
Yeah,
he's here every time she comes.
Yes.
He's patient. He's supportive. He's loving. He's enthusiastic.
Yes. He's nice. Yeah.
He's like business mind. Supports you all the time. That's why you can do this.
You know what? That's very true. That's why.
And he's been a caregiver, and he wrote for the Sunday paper as a caregiver, a male caregiver. There are more and more, because November, which we're coming up on, is Alzheimer's Awareness Month and Caregivers Month, and there are 2/3 of all the caregivers in America are women, but there are more and more men like Tony stepping up. And Tony, you need to write another piece for the Sunday paper about,
Well,
what you've learned as a caregiver, because there's so many heroic men taking care of spouses and daughters and
Well, his
friends.
piece was very eye-opening for me as the
Yeah.
patient. I think perhaps if you would consider next time, maybe Tony can come here and we could talk about it.
Well, that'd be
and we
thrilling.
could do our Facebook Live. You could ask him any question you want. And I want to be able to give away to a caregiver. We have that beautiful KitchenAid that we have that I want to give away.
When are you going to do that?
Next time I come. Next
During
time,
November. Well, we
yeah,
have to do
November.
it in
during
November.
all. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
the whole point.
so the
yeah.
next time we're
Yeah.
going to give away
Yeah.
a KitchenAid to
Yeah.
a caregiver,
Yes.
and Tony's going to come
Yeah.
on and talk
'Cause he is a
about
caregiver.
Yeah, caregiver. He was a caregiver before he became a quote official caregiver. And he's like
laughing.
lives in a house with all women. So
Yeah.
like
and even the dogs are.
that's
are
already
girls.
a piece you could write about that. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back
Okay.
to the brownies.
Okay, so the brownies. Where is it? Don't go away. Talk amongst
What is
yourselves.
this
I'm going to get
milk?
it out of the
You're wired
refrigerator.
up.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so-
milk. I put milk in
Okay.
there, but you can use
so
nut milk.
you're wired up, Christina,
Yeah.
and
I
so
wanna
like
go-
come back here. So I'll
What,
be
is
talking
that-
because Christina has all kinds of these incredible recipes that are good for your brain. Why don't you grab the brownie and the
where's
ice cream
Yeah,
that
the
she
brownies.
made?
What happened to
It's
the?
right there.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
right
there
there.
it is. Right
no,
there. Right
no,
there.
it's
There
right
it is.
there.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this, but this
Yeah,
is how
that's
it
okay.
rolls.
Hey,
It's
you
okay.
know, that's what happens with
This
live
isn't even
TV.
real ice
Yeah.
cream, right?
This is coconut bliss ice cream. Look how beautiful this is. This is
Coconut.
I put a whole brownie in there.
But that's
Um,
got to be chocolate.
that is a chocolate sauce. That's the recipe as well. And
Has that got sugar in it?
no, it's just chocolate, a little bit of coconut milk, and vanilla. That's it.
So-
but what I liked about this, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, I baked it and I kind of took it out before I was supposed to take it out. And
really
you know what
see it?
happens? Sometimes when you bake, you get a hole in it, and that's what happens. So you know what I did? I just filled it with ice cream. There you go.
She's so
filled-
creative.
Yeah,
I think-
instead of getting upset that you have a hole in your brownie or your cake, you just.
But that's the thing that Chrissy that you do is you also make the food look appetizing and beautiful. So if you didn't know that this was one of these healthy brownies,
Yeah.
and you just served it at your dinner party, no one would know.
Nobody would know that you had a hole in your brownie. Okay.
But they wouldn't know that this was with a monk fruit,
Right.
pure maple syrup,
Right.
garbanzo bean flour, right?
Right.
And
good.
this is something that I could possibly make.
Yeah, you could possibly.
Myself.
Do you want to try it? You
Not
get
really,
chocolate
no,
in your
because
tea-
it's so early.
It's
But
too
I will.
early.
It's
You're not
early.
drinking. It's not like we're having booze.
I know.
Okay.
Well, why don't you eat
Okay.
it? And so
Okay.
Christina's book is and it's part of the proceeds of Food for Thought going to the women's Alzheimer's movement. And yesterday we had a lot of news with Justice O'Connor stepping forward
Yes.
and
Oh, my
saying
goodness.
that she had dementia, probably Alzheimer's. Her husband had Alzheimer's. So she's really kind of been at the forefront of fighting for this disease, fighting on behalf of families. And you are turning into an Alzheimer's advocate
An
yourself.
advocate. Yes, but
Right, an
yes.
advocate for food because we don't know what causes Alzheimer's, and
That's
we
right.
do know that food affects
Well,
the
there are a lot
mind.
of studies, yeah, and food in particular. But before we
Yes.
get into the food and
Right.
and health,
You didn't eat your brownie.
No, I will because I have to talk.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I don't want to belch and talk at the
Okay.
same time. Okay. No, do you think perhaps you'll interview Sandra Day O'Connor?
I have interviewed her. I don't
know you
think,
have.
I
Do you
don't
think at this point?
I doubt at this
No?
point because her statement was that she's retiring from public life, and I want to
Okay,
respect
you want
that.
to respect that. Okay. All right.
A little bit. I want to respect.
Okay.
No, I want to respect that. But she's been a great friend,
Yes.
and a great supporter, and a very inspiring woman.
Yes, for everyone.
For
Yes.
everyone, right? She's independent, feisty, cowgirl, smart, and I loved the way she always said that she probably wouldn't have taken the Supreme Court job had her husband not encouraged her and pushed her and said, by all means, we're going to Washington, let's do this. So it was so moving when she said, now it's my turn to go care for him
Yeah.
and step down.
Yes. Yes. It is.
So that's a great example to all of us.
Before we get into any other things, I want to talk about food and the research that's coming out about food as medicine. But this Saturday or
Yeah.
this Sunday,
Yeah.
we're flying to Dallas
That's
for
right. A
you wanna tell
purple
everybody?
luncheon.
It's called a Purple Luncheon.
Our great friend Jan Miller and Sue Gregg and Mal Anderson are hosting this wonderful Purple Luncheon in Dallas to raise money for the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. And as we always do, we try to educate people that come to these events so that they can go out as advocates themselves for their own health and the health of those they love. So we're doing that. Then we're headed to You're not coming with. You're going to do Dr. Oz.
I have to fly to New York to do Dr. Oz, which will take.
You get to fly to New York.
I get to fly to New York.
You get to fly to New York to do Dr. Oz, who's a big proponent of food as medicine.
Yes.
He always.
Yes, he is.
One of the great things he said that always stuck with me is when you go into a supermarket, it's like going into a pharmacy. Think of the supermarket as the pharmacy, because all of that, what's in the supermarket, has an effect on you.
It does, and you have to read the labels.
Yes.
You have to read the labels, and
I'm not good at that.
I read everything, and usually I read everything, and usually the first ingredient is always cane sugar. It's always. If it's not first, it's second.
So put that back.
Yeah, well, you put it back, and then there are additives, there's GMOs, there are all those things. If you buy, and remember, the number 9 first on the little tag, it's fine. It's organic. Number 4, it's out the door. It's not organic. It's been sprayed with pesticides, chemicals, all those things you want to try to avoid. But they've done more and more studies, and I'm going to be writing about that and bringing it in from Harvard, from MD Anderson, from nutritionists around the country that talk about how the medical community now is beginning to realize that food plays an important part in your health.
I get really kind of mad at the medical community, how slow many of them have been to recognize the impact of food, to look at women as different entities than men, look at their hormones, ask them about their blood sugar levels. People really need to be their own best advocates. They need to be informed. It's really important. If you have something that you're feeling and the doctor doesn't pay attention to you, out the door. 4. The doctor's a 4. The doctor is a 4, and he or she is out the door if they don't respect what you're saying.
I was all over I had wonderful doctors, but I was an advocate
and of course
for my own
always
health.
Wonderful.
And I said, no, I want you to do this. And no, I had an MRI on my hip last week because I take a certain medicine and I'm in such pain for 2 weeks. And I thought, my hip is gone. So I said to the doctor, I want an MRI. And she said, you don't need one. I said, but my hip hurts. I want an MRI. She was right. I didn't need one, but at least I feel better. But who knows? It could have been something there.
Yes.
But, you have to take your health into your own hands.
That's right. And we were a really great film about that. It's called The Bleeding Edge. We did a piece on that a couple weeks ago about the devices being implanted into people. So if you haven't seen that movie, you should look at it. And
what devices?
All kinds of devices, hips, all kinds of things.
That's right.
But there's no flowers or anything like this in that
all
movie.
Natural.
But so what else do you want to finally remind them of? You've done soup lately, you're doing brownies.
We're doing the brownies.
Why is Food for Thought going to be a have-to cookbook?
Well, because I'm trying to get to change people's mind on how important it is from the time your children are born to start them on a path to health. And the only way to stay healthy, gut healthy, brain healthy, heart healthy throughout your life, and hopefully avoid diseases. We still have the environment and all, but you give your body a fighting chance. I know my doctors told me I got well so quickly because of the way that I ate and the foods that I ate.
What's good is you weren't always a good eater.
I was always a good eater. I didn't make the right choices. I'm still a good eater. But it's really important to do that. Plus, you feel so much better. I know my daughters have been having stomach issues most of their life. Who knew that I was killing them with pasta? They are allergic to grains, and when the minute they had a stomach ache, I said, "Oh, I'm going to make you some pastina," and I would give them, and it would wreak havoc with their stomach. Since they changed their diet. They're off of their medication, they're thriving. They're thriving. It's all about the foods that you eat.
Wow,
I'm not kidding.
So many people seem to have stomach issues, digestive issues,
gut
issues.
It's the gut.
So
I'm going to talk to Dr. Oz about all of that.
About the gut.
Yeah, about the gut and the healing and all that.
So when can people watch you on Dr. Oz?
It won't be till December till the book's out because first I have to do Good Morning America. I'm going to do that in December, and then they're gonna show the Dr. Oz thing in December.
Oh, I see. Okay, wonderful. But people can pre-order the book.
Oh, please! You know what? It'll make a wonderful Christmas gift for everybody.
That's right.
Again, the purpose of this is to bring awareness to eating healthy, and also to raise money for the women's Alzheimer's movement. That's very, there's a lot of research that needs to be done, and you can do your part by helping. With the proceeds that will come from this book.
And also, if by chance you happen to have a loved one who's in a facility, get the book and bring it to the facility, because so many facilities that are helping loved ones with Alzheimer's and other dementias. The food in many of those facilities is terrible, as in like it sucks. And so, it's like
really
canned
bad.
peaches. It's full of cane sugar. If you bring this book to them, one of the things all of us can do is make sure, if you have a loved one, if you have a caregiver in your home, make sure your caregiver is educated about the kinds of food that your loved one might be consuming throughout the day if you're at work, or if you've made the decision to use a facility, make sure that the food at that facility is healthy, nutritious.
You can make a difference. You really can.
Everybody can make a difference.
But may I just say something before we go?
Yeah.
I've had a very wonderful, stellar career as a model when I was younger in the 80s.
That's true.
I've had the privilege
supermodel.
I've had the privilege and the honor to be on all the fashion magazines, Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Good Housekeeping, all of it. And I loved every single minute. But I have to tell you, the biggest thrill that I had in my whole life was actually shooting a cover with Maria Shriver.
Oh, stop. Oh,
let me talk.
Ridiculous.
Let me talk. Okay. No, I'm not. Yeah. We are on the cover of Westlake magazine on the philanthropic, the issue on philanthropy. I wrote an article about Maria, and then
I didn't know that.
I wrote the I wrote the article.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're a writer.
Yeah, well, I'm back writing for, I'm back as one of the editors on Westlake magazine. But I wrote a beautiful article about you and what you do, and we also included in there the Special Olympics.
Oh, the Special
and everything
Olympics,
that you and your family do to move the needle forward, as you say. But when I was a child, I knew about Maria. I didn't meet Maria till I was in my late 20s.
When you were a child?
When I was a child, I knew about Maria.
That's not true.
No, I did, because I was a child of 8 or 10, and she was like 2, but I knew about her family. Everybody knows her family. Who knew that I would grow up one day to be her friend? So, there we are. And I've done all of these covers, and I've seen all these covers and everything Maria has accomplished in her life, and I got to be on the cover with her.
Anyway,
so can you just take a could you see
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm very pleased. We're going to show you the cover on the 24th. It's
we
beautiful.
Are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that too.
Yeah,
I can't wait to read the article.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, remember, the book is called Food for Thought. You can pre-order it. The recipe for these incredible brownies will be in the Sunday paper. Please join us in the Sunday paper community if you haven't already. And please remember to eat healthy and try to make a difference in whatever way you can out there in the world, because we need bright lights in the world. It's like a little bit shaky out there, so we need people who speak calmly, positively, and seek to make a difference with their light.
And please go out and vote.
Amen.
Please.
That's on my birthday.
Okay.
Election day is my birthday.
Let's give Maria a great gift. Let's all go out and vote.
Let's
give ourselves a gift. Let's give our country a gift.
Please vote.
Please vote.
Happy birthday, me.
Mwah.
Bye.